welcome to the India International Center book discussion program. We gather here today for the discussion of homeopathy through a practitioner's eye, a distinguished work by Dr. Mohammad Qasim that illuminates the philosophical foundations and clinical dimensions of homeopathic healing, rooted both in science and human experience. This evening brings together eminent minds from academia, medicine, law, media, and public service for a stimulating exchange that promises insights for practitioners, students, and discerning readers alike. This session, of course, has opened with a brief welcome to all of you who have gathered here today. It will be followed by an engaging sequence of perspectives from our distinguished panelists. Allow me to introduce them. Of course, we are expecting Sri Anil Vohra, but he conveys his apologies for not being able to join us owing to prior commitments. We have this evening with us Professor Krishnan Kumar, an eminent educationist and scholar who is widely known for his profound engagement with the sociology and history of learning. As former director of NCERT during 2004 to 2010, he guided national curriculum reform and educational research. He is recipient of the Padma Shri and D.Litt honoris causa from the University of London, honors that reflect his enduring intellectual influence. Welcome, Professor Krishnan Kumar. We have Dr. Anita Sehgal, our medical vice, this evening, who is a consultant ophthalmologist and retina specialist based in New Delhi, trained at All India Institute of Medical Sciences and holding advanced qualifications. She brings a clinician's perspective to this interdisciplinary dialogue. Welcome, Dr. Sehgal. Sri Anil Noria, Supreme Court advocate and historian, has made significant contributions to our understanding of India's freedom movement. His research and lectures, both in India and in South Africa, continue to illuminate the intersections of law, history, and social justice. Welcome, Sri Noria. Sri Suhas Borkar, our moderator this evening, is a veteran media professional and public activist with nearly 4 decades in documentary filmmaking. As editor of Citizen First TV, he has pioneered narratives on democracy, social justice, and environmental awareness. His unique initiative of numbering Delhi's trees earned him the title of the Stee's Green Conscience. Welcome, Mr. Borkar. And finally, the star of the evening who brought us all together here is Dr. Mohammad Qasim, author of the book under discussion. A respected homeopathic practitioner and honorary consultant at the India International Center. He has taught at Nehru Homeopathic College, New Delhi, and served as visiting professor in France. His earlier work, published by NCERT, introduced the science of homeopathy to young readers. A member of the Scientific Advisory Committee of the Central Council of Research in Homeopathy, Dr. Qasim continues to contribute to both research and clinical practice. Welcome, Dr. Qasim. We look forward to an evening of meaningful discussion, critical reflection, and shared learning inspired by the depth of our distinguished speakers who bring diversity in their academic and scholarly acumen. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will begin with this evening's program by inviting Sri Borkar for his remarks and thereafter to take the session forward. Over to you, Mr. Borkar.
Thank you, Dr. Munshi. I think we'll do a little deviation. Oh, careful, sorry. Are you okay? Yeah. Since Sri Vohra couldn't make it, he was taken unwell at the last minute. So I will now request Dr. Mohammad Qasim to introduce the book, and then we'll forward the discussion. Please go ahead. You can go there, whatever is convenient.
Good evening, everybody. Uh, uh, it's very kind of you, all of you, to come here, and I'm really very pleased with it. The book is all my efforts, what I have learned in my clinic, meeting all of you in the clinic. So, the first point I would go a little more that why homeopathy? And it was a time when before the advent of homeopathy, there was much more as well. The practice was find the cause, find the bacteria, can kill the disease. Now, killing the bacteria and curing the disease, that was the motto. But as we know today, the virus cannot be controlled by the allopathic medicine. Even initiating desire, the book is also to initiate desire among the learned people to know the healing mechanism of the homeopathy and the body. Now, there are many questions that comes into your mind regarding white pills, dynamic power, likes and likes. These are the conditions that has been discussed many a time, and many of the questions that came to me while in the clinic. What does it mean, likes to be treated by? I'll try to go into that. Now, kill the bacteria, cure the disease. That was a very old theory, but it doesn't happen. Even those days, people have tried. That okay, they have taken the bacteria inside, but most of the people didn't suffer. Some of them do suffer, and those who suffer are where either their health was compromised or there was weak vitality. So that is so that in those days, the medicine was consist of assuming the patient, while nature, it is always said that nature cures the disease. This, what is health? Health is a feeling, is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also the matter of opportunity that it responds to medicine and it brings down the health. Now, health. What is health? It's a vital concern for the individual and it is integrated with in our well-being and effectively treated with non-toxic drug. It's always seen that non-toxic drug is more effective. And there is an element of emotion, social, and spiritual. Three things are interconnected and they all go together. So in that, what is the main thing? That dynamic power. The homeopathy, or even I have seen it, that no matter what is the disease, but if we concentrate more on the physical manifestation, it doesn't work. It has to be some dynamic ingredient in your selection of medicine. And that is, with the age, of course, it goes down slow, but if any emotional setback happens, the body goes slow. And it really suffers quite a lot even on that. So, the value, dynamic has a value in keeping the health. Sickness originate at the dynamic level, not at the physical level. I will come to that, and that is where homeopathy comes from. So the cause of origin of disease is on the dynamic plane, not emotional disturbance, some kind of uh, setback, losing friend, or loss of job, or financial loss. I have seen people losing financial and they become sick. Sometimes they have a heart problem. So we are treating the heart. That means you are looking after the effect of the heart, but you are not doing anything for the mind, for the depression that is going through. So the root, what I say, the sickness is in the heart. And that sickness feeling that I have tried to explain in that book, sickness in the heart, and it is important to look into that. Not feeling well, uh, not finding comforts, displeasures, all these things. These are some of the things that we see people say that I'm not feeling well. For some reason I'm not feeling well. So what is the wrong with me? That is what. So the origin of the disease is in the heart and sickness is in the heart. Now, I went into this work and made a research what heart has a role to play. Now, dividing the body into two parts, physical part and the dynamic part. Physical part is the we know the health, the heart, lungs, they are functioning well. Person is able to work and do, but sometimes he is not able to conceive or react favorably to the situation he is in into it. So that's what he said. So that means, as we know, the function of the heart depends on the conductive sensitivity, electrical impulse, starts of nodes, sinoatrial nodes situated in the upper part of the right atrium, the electrical impulse, the pacemaker of the heart, electrical current reaches to the atrioventricular node, further distributing to the wall of the heart chambers and other fibers of the body, of the muscles. Any change in the electrical supply of the unexplainable causes an unexplainable palpitation, discomfort, and anxiousness, a state of physical imbalance. What I meant is maybe with the heart starts functioning in the mother's womb at the age of 24 weeks. And now, and it happens simultaneously, 24 weeks, heart starts functioning. And that impulse starts at the heart, at the atrium, at the top of the atrium, called sinoatrial nodes. And that electrical current radiates from there and goes to the wall of the septum, heart at the atrioventricular area. From there, it goes into the different part of the muscles and different parts of the cells of the body, of the heart, and that gives electrical current to everything. And that's the contraction and starts when the heart starts functioning, and we have the pulse and lub dub or heartbeats, everything starts functioning from there. So my concern is, I have tried to explain, is first you have to look into the heart, and how to look into the heart is to see the feeling of the person, see his behavior, see his conduct, his sleeping patterns, everything. Now, so what we have seen, I can give you some example. The crude medicine, they remove the physical illnesses, but the potentized medicines are needed for sickness of the heart, because the remedy, the potentized medicine, has got the similar kind of wavelength that the heart has inside, and it makes it is acceptable by the heart, and so it starts functioning in a way, functioning to normalize the function of the heart. Now, what is the potentization? That part comes. Potentization is a mean where the quality of the drug, quantity of the drug is reduced and even diluted to suit the dynamic nature of the body. Sorry, sir. Sorry. So the potentization is to achieve the quality, and the drug quantity is reduced and even diluted to suit the dynamic nature of the body. Potentization is made to synchronize with the dynamic power of the body. If you understand this, the homeopathic medicine is not just white pills, but all the pills, they have a memory. And as we know today, the water has a memory. So the dilution means the memory from the medicine goes to the water, and the whole water becomes a medicine, and it has a dynamic power. So that goes into the body, and it's synchronized with the body functioning, the heartbeat, the mind, and it goes. For that, I'll give you an example. This is one of the patients there are a number of patients who made me think about it. This patient, age 50-year-old, she was suffering from cervical spondylosis, severe pain in the nape of the neck, shoulder, and arms. And even to touch, it was very painful. She was very difficult to. So I gave a very common medicine, a snake poison, Lacosis, 1000. After taking that, a few hours later, she developed kind of vibration in the arm, all over the body, but mostly in the arm with the throbbing and shaking pain. She couldn't tolerate. She called me. I said that, look, please wait, just try to sit down, try to move around, and it will be going. That's what she waited. Next morning she said, I'm 50% better, my pain is gone, my vibration is gone, everything gone. Today she is sitting in Canada and she's looking after their children. The thing has not recurred. This one point you have to understand, that once the homeopathic medicine acts, it acts forever. And I have patient who has cervical spondylosis, and she is a professor in Delhi University. She comes maybe 15, 20 years after. And she said, one dose I have taken and it has cured. So this is where the advantage you have in homeopathic medicine. And this is one part. Now, why that feeling happens? What is the dynamic of the medicines? Now, sickness first comes in the sense of not feeling well, a dynamic expression. The dynamic concept is the key in the therapeutic of methodology. This brings another concept, the two of the same level, law of similar, vital principle, and these are too much discussion about it. And they say these are all vague, these are nothing there. But it's not vague. It has a root, and that root can be seen in the heart. And I have tried to, the law of principle means a thing that we always react, a thing that create things can also cure the things. Now, I won't go into that. The dynamic power, the dynamic power accept the outside force. This is the quality that if this dynamic power is disturbed, any medicine given in that level, it is accepted by the body, and it reinforces the body to get rid of the pathogen, get rid of the viruses. That's why we are able to make contribution in the treatment of some of the incurable diseases. Very much alike to the means of removing disorder. The blood and other liquid are supportive. Now, this dynamic things provides energy to the weak health and circulation. This energizes the body. The whole medicine is to energize the body, energize the strength, fighting strength of the body. Now, so this is the law of similar. Two similar things attracts each other. That is the principle that we have in. Now, vital force and vital principle. These are another thing that happen. Now, what is vital force? For me, I have identified it. The vital force is placed in the heart. At the bottom of the heart, near the atrium, there is a place called sinoatrial node. That is the vital force. That is the main force which provides energy, goes to the ventricle that notes that the fiber or the electrical impulse or the vein or the nerves are there. That is called atrioventricular nodes. So from the heart up to the middle of the, from atrium to the ventricle, this electrical impulse comes, and these electrical impulses is the power that goes all over the heart, in the cell, in the muscles, in the nerves, and that makes contraction and relaxation. And this is the function of the heart. When it becomes weak, we feel discomfort, we feel unwell, we feel many other conditions. So that is so the vital principle is located in the right atrium, known as sinoatrial nodes, the pacemaker of the heart. This is what it is. It has not been discussed in homeopathy. A friend of ours who is sitting there, they will understand. Nobody has explained this thing like this, and this is my first declaration or first impression that I'm sharing with you. Now, there, the vital principle becomes the main part which regulate, and that it goes into the wall of the ventricle, that is called vital force, located in the right ventricle as atrioventricular node. There has the electrical system, and these connect the atria and ventricle, ensuring the contraction in the correct consequence. It receives electrical impulse from the sinoatrial nodes and slow them down to allow the atria to finish the filling of the blood before the ventricle contracts. That means from the blood, from the upper part of the heart goes into the lower chamber, the ventricle. But there is a gap of 0.19 second. The ventricles remains open till all the blood comes into it, and then it goes into circulation. So this is where it, and so circulation we can feel in our, as a matter of fact, as a pulse or heartbeat or circulation all over the body. This is the main function, and the medicine, the homeopathic medicine, the potentized medicine has this power to energize, to vitalize the low, vitalize the weak heart. So sometimes I have seen in the person that who has this weak heart, they can do. Pacemaker, as I said, sinoatrial node is the pacemaker. Now, pacemaker of the heart is a primary pacemaker, and though it is a slower rate of 40 to 60 beats per hour, so this is from there. So, what I explained to you is the pathway of homeopathic medicine, pathway of the potentized remedy, pathway of how the medicine moves from there to the other part of the body. So, and the pathway after the, so this is, now this also makes, there are other part on the body, on the heart called bundle of his and Parkinson's. These are nothing, but these are all technical things. But these are all means the nerve, the energy that goes through the nerves, energize every part, every cell, every muscle that is around the heart, inside the heart, to force the blood to go into the circulation and be strong enough. And now, atrioventricular node is a cluster of a specialized cell in the heart wall that relay electrical impulses from atria to the ventricle, coordinating the contraction. This has to be improved. We've seen, I mean, I have the photograph, but I don't think you will be able to see. Now, in the significance of the clinical sign of this, a malfunction of the sinoatrial node can lead to irregular heartbeat or abnormality, slow heart, bradycardia, or a condition known as sick sinus syndrome. That also comes. Again, there is a much needed medicine that we have, and I'll tell you, for this, there was some study long time back that we use it today also, the cretagus. But it has been found the cretagus used in a large dose, like the allopathic system, doesn't work the way if it is used in drop doses. And people have, scientists have used it in a drop doses and find more strength in the heart in bringing out the immunity to the system. So that means what I say, that homeopathic medicine do energize the electrical stimulation and giving fight to the body. Now, the action of the medicine is a conducive, conductive system of the heart in restoring functional balance. Principally, the potentized remedy leads the healing. The potentized remedy has meaningful role in removing the cause. Cause means cause in the heart. And if you remove that, the physical condition, because I've seen it even in cancerous cases, that it is ameliorated. This man, I had tried to give in the book also, this man was mostly recovered, but he left the medicine. He thought he's all right, so he left the medication. And 3-4 months later, when he came, it was all flare up, all gone all over the body. So that's how. So this summarizes the law of similar concept of vital principle and vital force in correcting the emotional and physical disorder. This is important. Now, medicine, again, the scientist, one of the psychiatrists says, medicine cures diseases, but only doctors cure the patient. We have to listen to the patient to cure the patient. We don't listen to this. We don't understand the patient. We don't see the patient. I had a patient who was suffering from stammering, quite a bad, and 25-year-old. So I listened to him for 5 minutes, and then I found there is some kind of hesitation, some kind of fear before he started talking. Now that fear started him, Otherwise, he's okay. But once that fear comes, he used to tremble. He used to mutter. And on that basis, I gave him, he's perfectly normal. He never recovered. So this is what, so the medicine cure disease, but only doctors cure the patient. That is the, so here it comes, but everybody asks me how many hours or so many long discussion and then you give medicine. Well, I don't take so many hours, but still, but I need to know the way people come to me, the way you say shake hand, the way you behave, the way you talk. You manifest something, your body language understand. And there I say homeopathy treats sick individual. It is a specialty in homeopathy. You treat the sick individual. Today, the trend is towards group of practice, group of thinking, and even group of mood of life. So the man is not greater than mass. As the intelligent thinking people realize and prize their individuality, the individual approach will hold and appeal to them. Homeopathy offers a special inducement to the man who can treat people to think and act as individuals. In that, I can say, we are treating people from tuberculosis. We are treating people for urinary tract infection. But it keeps recurring. And people have been known that drug-resistant diseases. That means what? We have been trying to kill the bacteria, but still we are not able to kill it. The person is suffering, and we have a lot of people who are suffering from post-tubercular diseases. I'll give you one more example and finish. So homeopathy offers a special inducement to the man who can teach people to think and act individually. As so, medical treatment is individual. This woman came to me for different reasons, but one thing she said, as a child she suffered from diphtheria. She had suffered, and since then she has not recovered. And we have in our homeopathic medicine diphtherinum, medicine prepared from the saliva of the diphtheria. And she remarkably, within 24 hours, she was different. She recovered completely. So, what we say, the history. That means you don't need 20 hours speaking, just diseases. People who had tuberculosis and suffering from skin problem, you treat the tuberculosis, it's gone away. Within a week, everything disappears. So these are some of the things that you have to understand. The disease is physical manifestation, yes, but the cause of disease is inside, somewhere in the body, in the dynamic plane. So we have to understand where is the disease and how it will be treated. This is what I have tried to, I have learned it from my practice, and I have tried to put them in the book. I will be happy to get any kind of feedback, any kind of criticism, which I'm looking forward to make it more viable in my thinking. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Qasim. See, this book actually is a reflection of his personality. You know, he is so involved, he is so engaging, he is so inclusive. You know, virtually every page has a case history. Now, I've never come across a doc with such, humanism, in a way. And then when I was reading the book, the first thing which impacted me was page 107. And, I must be honest, it was a tiring day. I was lying down in bed and reading, and my mobile was next to me. And this page 107 warns you, about the mobile not being close, So it's so I immediately put it away, So it says the World Health Organization has admitted that phone radiation is a possible human carcinogenic with increased risk of glioma, tumor in the brain and spinal cord among those exposed to cell phone radiation in long spells. So if you put it next to you and you sleep, then for the next 7 to 8 hours, that radiation is impacting you. So I mean, this was an immediate lesson I learned. after, because I used to keep it very close to me all the time. That's one. And the second thing is the lucidity of the, the way you write, sir. So I just want to, before I ask Professor Krishna Kumar to come in, I just want to take you to page 256 first. And the way you put it, you see, he quotes the World Health Organization's definition of health, which I think is in a way summarizes the holistic approach of homeopathy. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. In recent years, this definition has come to include the ability to lead a socially and economically productive life. Now, that's a holistic approach, which I think is very important. And then he quotes, in homeopathy, the therapeutic pattern is unique and the whole process is non-toxic. There is no collateral damage. Refurbishment and restoration of harmonious functions of the vital organs are the main aim. The stronger the cardio and neuromuscular systems, the better the immune health. That is at the foundation of the process of therapy. Now, while I was working on what to say here, I thought it's better to, pick up three whom as Indians and our virasat, as they say. So I picked up on what Swami Vivekananda had to say about homeopathy. Vivekananda says the homeopathy was not one of blind faith or rejection, but of open-minded inquiry, practical utility, and scientific scrutiny. Now, in a conversation with Dr. Street, a homeopath in Detroit in 1894, this is a quote from his letters, volume 5, Vivekananda says, "I have seen homeopathy work, but I want to know how. If it cures, it must have a law. Find that law." Now, you're finding that law. Okay. The second thing I want to quote is from Tagore. Tagore's endorsement of homeopathy stemmed from personal experience and a belief in its gentle alignment with nature's healing processes rather than aggressive interventions. Tagore's writings on homeopathy appear in letters, forewords, and public statements from the 1930s, particularly during India's freedom struggle, when he advocated for indigenous and affordable healthcare. He praised its growth in India, seeing it as a bridge between Western innovation and ancient Indian wisdom. For example, the Upanishadic view of human organism. Unlike allopathic medicine, which he critiqued for disturbing the body, Tagore lauded homeopathy for allowing nature to deal with ailments. The third and the last, I went to Gandhi. Gandhi viewed homeopathy not as a panacea, but as complementary to naturopathy, Ayurveda and allopathy. In Key to Health, that's in 1942, he wrote, "The body is the temple of God. Prevention is better than cure. Prioritizing earth treatments," he was keen on mud packs, fasting and enemas, he criticized over-reliance on drugs, saying doctors have almost unhinged us by their drugs. Yet he defended homeopathy's minimum dose principle as non-violent, writing in the Harijan, that's somewhere in 1946, "It does not attack the patient, but allows nature to cure him." His pluralism extended to policy. In 1947, as we were about to gain independence, Gandhi urged the government to fund homeopathic colleges along with allopathic ones, seeing it as a democratization of healthcare. Rabindranath Tagore echoed this, praising homeopathy's gentleness. Now, over to you, Professor Krishnapal.
Mr. Borkar, Dr. Qasim, friends, my qualification to be here is as a patient. It was about 50 years ago that I walked into the clinic of the late Dr. B.R. Sur in Vasant Vihar. On a day when I thought I was very close to leaving teaching forever as a profession that will not suit me, because I had been suffering for months with a lung ailment, which was getting worse as the treatment proceeded along the usual lines. Today we can call them allopathic lines. Somebody, a sympathetic friend, advised me to see him. And I said, what kind of doctor is he? And he said, he's a homeopathic doctor. Now, I had never, ever heard this word. And staying in Model Town, I took the long journey in that state of my very poor health all the way to Vasant Vihar with hardly any hope that something will happen. The fact that I remained a teacher and I'm standing before you so many years later owes to that day's proceedings and the months that followed. Over the last 20 years, I have known Dr. Qasim both as a consultant, a friend, a very gentle human being. I must say I am privy to the development of this book, and I've read it in manuscript. I've had several discussions with him as it proceeded and unfolded. My own instinct was to suggest to him that he must engage with this ideological battle that homeopathy is fighting almost all over the world. And in many countries like Australia and several Western countries, including the United States today, it's fighting a losing battle, and that he should engage with this battle. Dr. Qasim's main idea was that I should explain homeopathy rather than engage in ideological battles. So ultimately the book has taken this very gentle form, the form in which it attempts to bring across to us its potential, its power, with numerous case histories of his patients over the last so long that he has been around as a practitioner. Today, as we discuss this book, congratulate Dr. Qasim and celebrate the effort that he has put in, we have to recall that historically homeopathy has been at the crossroads for a long time. A 1971 PhD thesis of St. John's Hopkins University in United States, a published thesis, says it all in a title. Homeopathy, the Rise and Fall of a Medical Heresy. That book, that doctoral thesis, outlines how homeopathy once enjoyed a dominant place in American medical education and practice. And something began to happen in early 20th century, that it fell from that place. Dr. Kaufman, who is not a practitioner, but simply a researcher, outlines the political economy of the pharmaceutical industry. It links with the medical education industry, and then explains why homeopathy did not survive in the United States, except in the state of California, which, as you know, is an outlier to many things that dominate American politics today and its economy. In the rest of the United States, like in many parts of the world, it's not treated as a serious therapeutic science. In England, where even the late Queen always carried a homeopathic first aid kit with her, that did not help to motivate the National Health Service to make it available to the common Englishman. Now, her son, the king, has ensured that the NHS, ensured gently, I suppose, that NHS will look into it, and the Royal Homeopathic College has been renamed under his persuasion as the Royal College of Integrated Medicine, where homeopathy is also available. That hasn't changed the British landscape. Many people believe that homeopathy has sort of Eastern origins, which is not true. It's as Western a medicine system as our allopathic system is. It originated in Germany, as Dr. Qasim has explained, and in Germany it is still a major contender for status, and its medicines are made there, manufactured, are made available. And that doesn't still persuade most of the Western world to take it seriously. When we think about that system today, we are ourselves quite, you can say, doubtful about whether to treat it as being equal to a science. I remember my own experience of 50 years ago, that if you fall sick, the immediate, natural, civic thing to do is to walk into a hospital. Now, hospitals are places of diagnosis and cure, and the only cure available in most hospitals is what homeopaths call the allopathic system. Hardly one homeopath might be available in now a hospital like Safdarjung Hospital in Delhi and a few other places in India. But homeopathy as a system is now, of course, under government's patronage, but that doesn't help homeopathy in gaining status among the young. If you look at how admissions to homeopathic colleges take place across the country, they take place through the NEET system, which itself is a very defective system. It has created a whole MCQ generation in all walks of higher education in India, including medical education, which makes the coaching industry flourish and get fatter by the day, and doesn't convince anyone that it's an industry that will do any good in the long run to Indian talent in any field, including medical science. But if you go to a homeopathic college in any city, you will notice that, or talk to the young people who are there, you will notice two things. One, that they belong to the lowest scorers in the NEET test. And number two, that many seats are vacant and remain vacant for years. It's been the trend now, and it's been going on like this. No young person who is an aspirant for the life of a doctor actually opts for homeopathy as his or her first choice. It's the thing that you do if you don't get into the higher ranks. Various other problems afflict the science of homeopathy, and many don't believe that it's a science. I have a very close old friend who is a very major doctor in Delhi. On his letterhead it says, if you are under any homeopathic treatment, please do not seek an appointment, which explains the deep bias that prevails against homeopathy in the dominant medical system. Is it a problem of communication, or is it a problem of acceptance of a different view of chemistry, especially biochemistry, that homeopathy puts into practice? This is not a question that a patient like me can answer. It has to be answered by painstaking research, and research funds for homeopathy are extremely scarce. In fact, research is hardly a domain in which homeopathy has secured a place of honor, even in the eyes of the government. And without further research, without further discourse and dialogue in places like this, homeopathy is likely to remain marginalized. Dr. Qasim's approach is that in the long run, if there is more public support and a greater proportion of the public convinced of the advantage of going for homeopathic medicine, then there will be greater scope for the homeopathic approach and the availability of its therapeutic system to ordinary people. It's a dream, and I know Dr. Qasim is a very committed citizen person who believes that long-term dreams do come true. And I'm sure one day, probably, this dream will also come true. In the meanwhile, homeopathy will remain a cure or an option for those who are simply desperate, who are about to die. And they think that homeopathy may offer a solution. I have known many people in my field who thought of homeopathy a few weeks before they passed away as something that is worth trying because either their spouse or some friend said, why not try, even though they had no belief in it. This issue of its marginalization can be seen in almost any institution, including the one we are standing here today. Homeopathy had the position of a consultant in this institution, and during COVID it lost it, and it never came back. This is true of most institutions. My own university, where I used to work, does not reimburse homeopathic payments. Hardly any university or college in the country will regard the money you have spent on consulting a homeopathic doctor or prolonged medication, which may be substantial in terms of expenditure, is worth reimbursing. Hardly any institution will regard it as being equal to the claims made on the basis of chemists' bills and doctors' fees, etc., in the allopathic system. That itself is a reflection of how poor a status it enjoys in India's institutional landscape. Even though homeopathy is, thank God, recognized in our country and has flourished in certain states, particularly Bengal, where I bet most copies of this book will sell. And several years ago, when I was at NCRT, Dr. Qasim was kind enough to write a small book for children. And if it has sold thousands of copies, they are mostly in Bengal. Bengal has produced a number of great homeopaths who are still remembered, who are family legends. At the same time, there is tremendous bias against homeopathy in Bengal itself. Bengal is a part of the country where polemics flourish and people disagree and discuss forever, and homeopathy is an object of discussion there. And that's a sign of great hope. Discussion is what will bail us out as a democratic society in every respect. And therefore this evening, which I think is a rare evening in the history of IIC itself, that we are discussing a book on homeopathy, I'm sure an evening like this will pave the way for a greater scope for homeopathy in future. And one day the political economy will allow it to gain the same status in the perception of the elite as well as the public as allopathy has. It's a day that will come after an enormously, I think, long wait. Many of us won't be around when that wonderful day comes. In the meanwhile, I think the future of homeopathy depends very much if some younger people were to give it an open mind as they choose their career path, their research path, and so on. I'm sure the homeopathic community of doctors will also have to exercise in the kind of pressure that this book creates on one's mind, from which Mr. Borkar has already read a few excerpts which tell you how if we have an open mind, this book can persuade us to see homeopathy differently rather than as a mystical science or as something that has, that many people derisively describe it as a mumbo jumbo. Yes, for nearly 200 years, homeopathy has been around since its classics were written, or its original classic was written by Dr. Hahnemann of Germany. And in this period, it has struggled. Currently, its struggle on the global platform is not in a state of any closeness to victory. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Krishna Kumar, for that very warm advocacy of homeopathy. Thank you very much. Now I would request Dr. Anita Sehgal to come on, please.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here to celebrate the launch of the much-awaited book by Dr. Qasim. As we all know, Dr. Qasim is a very renowned homeopath doctor, and in this book, he has given us an insight into the details of how homeopathy works. I have known Dr. Qasim for more than 20 years, and I would like to share with you, in spite of being an allopathic doctor, having done my MBBS, my MS, and super specialization, how I got introduced to Dr. Qasim and homeopathy. One day, sitting in my clinic, I had a lady around 30 years old who was suffering from recurrent severe allergies in the eye. She also had allergy on the skin. She had been going to dermatologist and other ophthalmologists, and she had to put steroid and take steroid quite often. So when I explained to her that this is what we have in allopathy, and steroid has to be put or taken only for the time for which the doctor prescribes. On that, she asked me that my mother has been recommending me to go and try homeopathy, which I'm reluctant to. What's your opinion about it? I said, see, I'm an allopathic doctor, but there are distinctive systems of medicine like allopathy, Ayurvedic, homeopathy, Unani, Tipton, a lot of them. And each system has only one aim, to cure the patient and to improve the oral health of the patient. And homeopathy, in my knowledge at that time, was it has got minimum or no side effects. So I said, please go ahead and try it. She came to me after a few weeks, much better. Her drops and her steroids had almost reduced, and the recurrence rate over the months reduced. I asked her, which doctor did you go to? Which doctor did your mother recommend you to go? And she took Dr. Qasim's name. And this is how I got to know Dr. Qasim, and I got introduced to homeopathy. Just after a few weeks of that, I had a 6-year-old girl, French girl. Her parents were just posted to India, Delhi, and this girl had lumps on the lids, and she had around 4 to 5 lumps on the lids. They had tried treatment in their country and here also, and she was suggested that as by the conventional method, they are not resolving, the only treatment now left is to have a surgical removal of them, and that too under general anesthesia. Even I did not want the girl to undergo general anesthesia. The mother was very apprehensive about it. I asked them, do you believe in alternative medicine? The mother said, anything that saves my girl from general anesthesia. I fished out Dr. Qasim's number, and this was my first phone call to him. I introduced myself to him, and I said, this is the case, I have this girl. Does homeopathy have treatment for this? He said, हाँ है, but tell them it will take a little longer time, and भेज दो उन्हें. And I sent that child to Dr. Qasim, and within few weeks, they started getting smaller, and in few months, they were gone. Now, this is when my belief in homeopathy started. Just after a few months of that, I had a young child who came into my clinic with a red eye. When I examined him, he had a subconjunctival hemorrhage, a hemorrhage which occurs below the conjunctiva and the eye turns red, and it was a huge hemorrhage. So I told him, this is what I'm giving you, this is the treatment. It will take few days to few weeks for the hemorrhage to absorb. He said, no, I'm an actor and I have to go for shooting, and it's just 4 days or 5 days after this. How will this happen? I said, okay, wait. I again called up Dr. Qasim and asked him, ऐसा subconjunctival hemorrhage है, क्या हमारे पास homeopathy में treatment है? He said, भेज दो. I said, okay, fine. And you know, on the 4th day, that boy called me, I'm shooting and my eye is almost white. Now, belief in homeopathy got strengthened. And the curiosity that how does homeopathy heal, which my system is not healing. So I thought I should now meet Dr. Qasim. Being a retina specialist, I get a lot of patients with diabetes, hypertension, vein occlusions, age-related macular degenerations, having hemorrhage, edema, and things in the retina, for which we have to give anti-VEGF injections, which have to be given repeatedly. We have to do lasers. Apart from being expensive, it's a lot on the emotional factor of the patient, that I have to go for the injection every month or every 3 months. So I called up Dr. Qasim and I told him, sir, I want to meet you. So he said, well, come, and we met in IIC itself. And I asked him that how does homeopathy work? So that, as Mr. Boker said, he just stated the same from what his book said, that Anita, definition of health, WHO says, is just the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and just not merely absence of disease. This is what homeopathy works on. It is a holistic approach. वो दिल, दिमाग और body तीनों पे काम करता है. Then he told me, the time the patient walks into my clinic, the way he walks, the way he sits, the way he talks with me, the way he behaves, my diagnosis starts. My diagnosis starts on it. Because he said that homeopathy treatment also encompasses emotional and psychological health of the patient, the lifestyle of the patient. So the treatment for the same issue will be different for two different people. It is an individualized treatment. It cannot be same for two patients because every person has a unique emotional and psychological setup. And I was convinced, and I'm happy to share with you all that from that day till today, about 75 to 80% of my patients have benefited, along with allopathy and homeopathy, for my retina cases, multiple sclerosis patient, herpes patients, glaucoma patients with optic nerve issues, uveitis patients, and the list is long. This shows that homeopathy and allopathy can work together. They can complement each other. And there has been a good, but for this, there has to be a good coordination between both. Like Dr. Qasim will always ask me, "Aap kya medicine de rahi hain?" Yeah, I tell him, "Sir, मैं ये medicine de rahi hu." So he'll see what he has to give. He'll say, "Anita, don't give this medicine, I'm giving this medicine." And we have had excellent results with this. Modern science is still evolving and does not have treatment for all the diseases what we have. If it has in certain cases, they have got a lot of side effects. That is when this system comes into being. There are a lot of studies going internationally in which we can bridge this gap, or we can use two or more systems of medicine to heal a patient. Our government has also had now initiatives like National Ayush Mission, in which they are promoting homeopathy. They are funding for the research in homeopathy. Also, the Central Council of Research in Homeopathy is also doing a lot of studies and funding to have evidence-based. The evidence is lacking that yes, homeopathy is working. And events have been organized worldwide to inform the public and create awareness about this system. I'm sure Dr. Qasim's book is going to be a step towards creating the awareness and increasing the acceptance of homeopathy. I wish him all the best for it. And in the end, I would like to say many of my family members have benefited. My mother was suffering from GERD, and she was so uncomfortable for so many years. But with Dr. Qasim's medicine, touch wood, for last 10 years, she has a very comfortable life. My brother, he is an international neuroradiologist. He had a skin issue. He has also benefited with Dr. Qasim's medicine. One of my distant relatives had undergone an accident and he had a brain hemorrhage. He was in Pune. And the allopathy doctor said, "We cannot give anything to dissolve the clot because the clot can go into his heart and cause blockage." From here, Dr. Qasim's medicine was sent to him, and today that boy is managing his business. So wishing all the best to Dr. Qasim, and the awareness increases.
Thank you. It's a very warm, extremely warm from the allopathic doctor. Unusual homeopathy.
No, but this
Thank
is
you,
yeah.
Doctor.
This is really nice of her to mention my name, and
I mentioned your name. That's a super.
no, but
playing it low.
but I'm really we are coordinating in such a way that we take the first aim of Dr. Anisa Segment to get the health back. She doesn't run after money. She didn't mention it. Her colleague says, "Why you are sending for this thigh to Dr. Qasim? Because you can do surgery and earn money." She said, "No, I want the health first." And she used to. This thigh is one of the things that very well resolved with the homeopathic medicine. Conjunctivitis. People have suffered long. Even the students came. So a student, he is a medical student, and he's suffering. And then there's the doctor who was suffering from cervical arthritis. He said that you will make me homeopath. I said, "Sir, come and start. You can be better homeopath than me because you have all the knowledge behind you." So this is what we need to coordinate. I have number of people, the gastroenterologists and all, and it is really nice of them, and I am here because of them, and because of all of you. I see all my friends there. And I'm really thankful to every one of you who have come from bottom of my heart, and I really appreciate you all.
I think the Thanksgiving has to wait for it.
Yeah, I know you have to do it, but I'm
No, what we'll do, the other thing which I just wanted is a celebration also. He started practice in 1964. So it's 61 years of grand practice. Huh? This needs 61 years is a long time. You're going strong. Touch wood. Now we'll have Anil Nauria. Go ahead, please.
Well, congratulations for this very interesting book. Let me, for technical reasons, start with reading out a letter. This was written by Jawaharlal Nehru on 14th April, first April, sorry, 1910, from Cambridge to his father, Motilal Nehru. He says, "My dear father, I am extremely glad to hear that you and the cough have parted company at last. I did not have a very high opinion of homeopathy, but till now, but henceforth will treat it with greater respect. Your loving son, Jawahar." So I showed this letter to Dr. Qasim once, and I think his respect for Jawaharlal Nehru also increased after that. So anyway, let me say that I first met him. He cured me of my headaches. It was an old teacher of mine, Baljit Malik, now no longer with us, who took me to him. And he had known, my teacher had known of the headaches which I used to have way back in the 60s in school. So he cured me of that problem. I won't go into the details, but it's vanished. It soon vanished, soon after I met him. I'm glad that today we have the son of Dr. M.C. Dawar here with us, because Dr. M.C. Dawar had moved that resolution inspired a resolution in the Central Assembly in the 1940s to recognize homeopathy. And that resolution passed by 8 votes, according to this document which Praveen has circulated. So it's interesting. And today I just want to say that you mentioned Vivekanand and others. I'll quote a few interesting letters which I found, other people. But I was very impressed with that line in the book where you say at page 126 that the principle is, homeopathy's principle is that do no harm. 126, isn't it? I may have the page wrong, but you say somewhere that do no harm, that the basic principle of homeopathy is that it must do no harm. So, well, that is exactly what courts are supposed to do. That no action of court should harm any citizen. And as a lawyer, I can relate to that. And I find now that when you go into a hospital also, you come back with the possibility of an increased number of diseases. That's the Greek people knew about it because they had coined the word iatrogenesis, which describes this situation. So I can relate to that. The other thing, which you trace the vital force to the bottom of the heart, I can see where the phrase "from the bottom of my heart" comes from. Like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I think it's something which the ancients probably knew. I wanted to take you to some letters, because one of the interesting things was the reception of homeopathy into India soon after Hahnemann. Now, how is it that it transferred, that homeopathy became so popular in India in, in the 19th century? Because here you have Gandhi talking about Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. And Gandhi is writing about Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar in South Africa in 1905. And he says that, he describes Vidyasagar, and he says, well, when Vidyasagar saw thousands of poor people in Burdwan suffering from malaria, he maintained a doctor at his own cost. and personally distributed medicines among them. He went to the houses of the poor and gave them the necessary help. In this way, he worked ceaselessly for 2 years, secured government help, and called for more doctors. In the course of this work, he saw the necessity of a knowledge of medicine. So he studied homeopathy, attained proficiency in it, and began to prescribe medicines to the sick. He did not mind traveling long distances in order to help the poor. So there is this amazing transference of homeopathic knowledge into India as early as the 19th century. And it's something, somebody mentioned, Professor Krishna Kumar mentioned the lack of research on the history of homeopathy in India. But I think this is something which needs looking into. How did this knowledge become so popular almost as soon as homeopathy was born and founded? And it comes to India and it becomes so popular, and why? There's another letter from, I want to show you how Gandhi's own understanding of homeopathy evolves. In 1937, you know, he had this lady, there was an associate, he regarded very highly, Bibi Amtu Salam, and she was in Trivandrum in 1937. So she writes about some health problems she had. So he writes to her, tell Ramachandran, that's G. Ramachandran, in detail about your pain. There are a few good Vaidyas there. You know, Kerala is known for Ayurveda. You may even consult them if you think fit. There is also a homeopathic mission. So Gandhi is aware of a homeopathic mission in Kerala, and he is recommending to Bibi Amtu Salam that, you can also opt for that. Vallabhbhai Patel has a health process. Yeah? Can I start? Yeah. Vallabhbhai Patel had some severe health problem in 1941. So Gandhiji writes to him, do not worry anything, this September 1941, do not worry about anything just now. Your health must mend completely. If homeopathy helps you, I will begin to have some faith in it. I have never been able to put any faith in it. You know, he had this varying attitude towards it. I entrusted a case to a homeopath, but there was no result. It was Tari's, somebody. But this is only by the way. I do wish homeopathy benefits you. I have heard much about it. Das believed in it. That is C.R. Das. So Gandhi is saying that C.R. Das believed in it. And so did Motilalji and Gurudev. Motilalji, in fact, was dispensing homeopathic medicines. For a brief while, he was holidaying in Ramgarh in Uttarakhand in 1921. And he writes to Jawaharlal Nehru saying that I have developed a kind of medical practice here. While I'm here. So he was asking for a medical chest from Allahabad. Anyway, so Gandhiji says C.R. Das believed in homeopathy, and so did Motilalji and Gurudev. Gurudev meaning Tagore. Tagore, it is well known, he used to take Califos for blood pressure, I believe. So that is well known. Tagore was rather fond of homeopathy, and Gandhiji knew about it. And he mentions some other people who take homeopathic medicines. But finally, he says, Gandhiji, finally everybody takes refuge in allopathy. Now that is the tragedy or unfortunate fact which Professor Krishna Kumar also referred to. All this is beside the point, but let it be. We are concerned only with the result. To Sushila Nair, he writes in 1941, now this is something. he writes to Sushila Nair that you can also take a homeopath. The homeopath can do massage also. I didn't know this, Dr. Qasim. I have been having my stomach and back massaged by him for the last 2 days. there has been a definite improvement. More about it later. So I think this is when Gandhiji's view of homeopathy improves. And then, but then, same year, there have been, he writes again to Sushila Nair, two persons are ill, the homeopath could not cope with them, both are running fever. And then there was an associate of Gandhiji's, Vanmala Parikh, who was in the Harijan ashram at Sabarmati. And to her he writes, I have your letter. I have also got the letter which you sent with Dada. At that time, I thought that since you would be soon meeting me, it was pointless to reply. Besides, even if I had written, I could not have done so in detail. We shall have a little talk when we meet. I am not at all happy about Narhari's illness. He may consult a homeopath if he wishes. I wish him, even for selfish reasons, to get well somehow. This is that situation when people are so ill that they, which was described here, that, when they feel that, all right, now let's try anything. So he's saying, well, he should get well somehow and he may consult a homeopath. It's in 47, 48 that Gandhiji's opinion about homeopathy seems to have drastically improved, because he recommends to an old associate, Shankarlal Banka, you must be keeping good health. Try a good homeopath if you know one. So now we have a homeopath amongst us. There was one thing that was mentioned about lack of research on the medicine itself, on the medicines that are, the state has not encouraged research. But I was curious to know, and perhaps Dr. Qasim will shed light on that. Is there research going on in other countries, or is there a lack of research even there on homeopathic medicine? So anyway, so for the time being, I'll end with a story. When I started law practice, it was with Govind Mukhoti, and he had this. Mrs. Mukhoti was from France, and on something I said, you must consult Dr. Qasim. I've been going to him for years. So she said, still not cured? Anyway, thank you. Congratulations.
So now, going for the Q&A, and you are the habitual one. Huh? Sorry, let's pick on others to begin with.
As long as you don't leave me out.
No, that's not the point. I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. But I'm just saying, you always come up first. So, anybody from this side?
I would like to support Dr. Anita on a...
No, can you pick up the mic, please? Don't mind. No, that's okay, but we are recording now. Come.
I'd like to support Dr. Anita on this with lumps being formed on and being cured, because it happened with my own daughter. Too much use of the computer and that laptop or not, she had a big lump, and I think orthopedic, he suggested surgery and did not guarantee that she'll not come back. So finally her mother-in-law put her to a homeopath, and till today she doesn't have it, and she's very happy with it. So I do support. At the same time, I would like to say my own father, though he was not a homeopath, but he was a practicing homeopath. He had some books, he would keep reading them, connecting and putting, and many a times he did succeed in treating us as kids with small ailments, that whatever we were suffering. Thank you.
Yeah. Come up here. Come. Yeah.
Firstly, I must thank you for mentioning about my late father. He did get the homeopathy recognized way back in 1937 by the Constituent Assembly, and his age was only 24 years old. Okay, now I have a question. I have believed a lot in biomechanics, and I think biomechanics are great prevention. And I have felt it because I have been taking biomechanics quite regularly. But a lot of homeopaths don't agree with me, so I just want to throw some light on the biomechanics. And secondly, also the system of Reckwick, they are combining so many medicines which is against the original concept of homeopathy. So I'm sure that influence also.
No, biochemic has got its own relationship with it, and it's good. Sometimes it works, like calimero for cough. It's wonderful, people, and it's a very over-the-counter things. So I'm not against it, and people can use it. There's no problem in that. But they have a limited action. It will not cure you. But if, as I said, if you have something else, it will be much more better. But biochemic has its own role play. Now, the other thing is that, what did you say the other?
Combination of so many medicines.
See, this is again, we are trying to use homeopathy according to allopathic system. So, may give you belief, but I haven't feel, I'm not practicing in that way, and I don't feel that way, that these are the good way of practice. It is a marketing, it is a pharmaceutical company, they are using it, but it's not the right way. It is better to have other medicine and concern. See, again, the idea is to cure it or to relieve it. Now, relieving is, even homeopathy medicine has got the preventive medicine, and biochemic medicine also have the relieving medicine. So it depends whatever the easy. Now people are much more comfortable to get medicine over the phone and buy it and use it. Now this using system of homeopathic medicine is not good, because it doesn't, and it makes you resistant. I did see some of the reaction. Molluscum is a very common medicine, that it's a virus. It comes on the face and everything. Sometime I have given to the children, and she came with 30. 6 months later, there was 45. Father said it is 45. I said, doesn't matter. She was then 10 years old. Today she is 23-year-old, and there is no sign of any molluscum, any growth. So this is where, but there was one teacher who saw my prescription I am prescribing. He was feeling better, and he went back and he started taking. He came after a year to me, the multiple kind of problem. I said, what did you do? Then ultimately, after second, third visit, he confessed that he has used those medicine irregularly and extensively. So I had to antidote to put him all right. So there is a element of what you call reaction from these medicines. So one has to be very careful. Yeah. One has to be careful.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have been in touch with homeopaths like, Bishambar Das, Harish Devan, and now Dr. Johal. You might have heard of them. So I have faith in homeopathy, but something like 70 years ago, a allopathic doctor gave me some medicine for incontinence, for the urine. And after that, I dropped from coming first in class to the bottom of the class. And for the next 50, 60 years, I did not even realize what had happened. I presumed it was the new norm to be at the bottom of the class. Now my question, now dementia is getting hold of me very fast. I just wanted to know, does homeopathy have any solution for that?
As I said, dynamic problem starts with age. So anything which comes with the age, you cannot cure it. But yes, you can make a little restful. Dementia, lack of control in the bladder, all these are some of the part of it inherited. So we have to find, as I said, if it is only a practical reason, one has to understand and feel comfortable whatever situation is in there. Dementia, if you can write, keep it in mind and keep reminding yourself, you might be able to cure yourself. Urinary trouble, if you feel urge for a little bit, you go immediately rush for it. It may be every 10 minutes, maybe every 2 hours, but that is what you have to do. Now, how to treat it, it's a difficult. Is again, you need to consult a physician, let him see what are the problem, and you have been in the good hands, so they might be able to find and give you some solution.
No, but the point he was making was that, you see, he developed this incontinence.
That's what
but as a youngster. And then he went to the bottom of the class, So could it have impacted his academic values? That's what he wants to know.
That was allopathy.
Yeah, but
No,
could it
but
have?
no. See, in the allopathy, there is no medicine for these kind of things. There is no such things to stop the incontinence.
That problem I never had much.
Put the mic on. Put the mic.
It's just that memory loss I'm concerned with, which kept getting worse gently, but now it's going very fast.
No, but what is the reason behind it? Do you have any other problems? Did your parent have it? No, but it's not you, your parent. It may be somewhere. See?
Sorry?
He should come to your clinic.
Okay.
No, we are not fishing. No fishing. No fishing.
Next to you sitting is a very renowned physician and a man. He will also can say something about it, but
Yeah, please go ahead.
this is
Hello, I am Dr. Rajkumar Manchanda, one of the student of Dr. Qasim. He was my teacher when I joined Nehru Homeopathic Medical College way back in 1977, and he was our anatomy and materia medica teacher. So thereafter, I know him as a very good prescriber. Congratulations, sir, for writing this book, writing your experiences for the profession as well as for the public. As regard my journey goes, after Nehru Homeopathic Medical College, I was for quite some time as Director General of Central Council for Research in Homeopathy, as one of our speakers was mentioning about whether research is being done or not. And currently I am chairperson of Homeopathic Sectional Committee at Bureau of Indian Standards, where we are working on standardizing each and every aspect of homeopathy that needs to be addressed. So, as regard Government of India is concerned, within Ministry of Ayush, lot of activities are happening as are required to be done for developing a system like allopathy.
Just wanted a clarification.
Please.
Is this related with 2014 or it was going on before?
Which one?
No. What I meant was, with the new dispensation, has homeopathy being encouraged, or it was being encouraged earlier
I'll tell
also?
you. It was being encouraged right starting from Motilal Nehru stage. I still remember that the college where at Defense Colony, I was asking one of the founder, how did this Nehru name came to this college? So he said, look, once upon a time, Pandit Nehru was passing through this area, and the rest he can tell more about it because he belongs to that. So he told that our founder, Dr. Yudhavir Singh, he was one of the very good politician and worked for homeopathy and was a homeopath also in Delhi. So he requested Nehru, Pandit Nehru, that look, here is a land, please give this to homeopathic medical college. So he said, okay, take this prime land of Defense Colony for homeopathic medical. And then this college was named after Dr. Motilal Nehru, actually because of that instance which now you are telling about. So there are many, many instances right from the olden days, and then every government has encouraged all the systems, but this government after 2014 has, ever since now they have, since November 9, 2014, they have created a separate ministry where focused attention is being given to all the systems, including homeopathy, Ayurveda, yoga, naturopathy. And so it is true that a lot of budget has increased phenomenally from earlier we used to fight, we were not even 0.1% of the total health budget. But now our target is to at least have 10% allocated to Ayush system, though still it is not that 10% of that, but still it is increasing. And now, interestingly, even at WHO level, you might be knowing that I would like to tell also in May this year, WHO has passed a strategy that is known as a global strategy on traditional medicine, where they are saying that we need to focus on development of all the traditional systems of medicine. And when I look at it, WHO has had another publication where they have said the spread of different traditional medicine all over the world, and homeopathy is among top 4 systems after acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, herbal medicine, then homeopathy comes. It is practiced in more than 100 countries in almost all continents of the world, but still lot needs to be done.
Yes. What is your budget for research by the government?
At the moment, I think it should be about 200 to 300 crores at least.
Annual budget?
Annual budget. Because earlier it used to be less, but then because
for homeopathy?
For homeopathy alone. And that is central government budget. But a lot of work is being done. We have about 260 medical colleges, and all these colleges are doing some research and some work is being done. The only thing lacking is that our pharma companies are not doing a lot of research in this area. That is somewhere, and homeopathy is primarily, if I see the history and the current situation, is being sustained by the practitioners like Dr. Qasim, because they are doing a lot of work serving the people. People know about it. Many people got benefited, and this is how it spread. There is not a very formal way of spreading information about homeopathy. As regards government is concerned, they are doing research in a systematic manner and now standardizing in a systematic manner. Standard treatment guidelines for almost all the diseases have been published by the government that can be followed by all the students, all practitioners. So this is how it is growing in that way. But challenges are there.
Yeah, just one question taking off from what Professor Krishna Kumar had said, that youngsters, there are a lot of seats are vacant in homeopathic colleges. There enough the people are not getting in, or they don't want to get in. Can you just throw some light on that?
No, I'll tell you, as regard Nehru Homeopathy, top colleges are concerned, there are no seats vacant, hardly, rather there is a line. We don't, there's a waiting list, all top colleges. Of course, there are certain colleges which they do not fulfill all the norms and their studies are not up to the mark. So, some seats can be vacant in those, but all top colleges, there is no problem about that. A sufficient number of land, currently about more than, I think, 20,000 doctors are passing every year, and we are about 20% of the health force of the country. Homeopathy alone, if we put it Ayurvedic and naturopathy alone, we are the 50% of the medical force of the country.
That's remarkable. Yeah, okay. Is there anybody else who want to come in? Yeah, go ahead, please, ma'am.
Congratulations, Dr. Saab, for creating awareness about homeopathy, which very few people know about it, and they don't have faith in homeopathy at all. But my question is that the spreading of various diseases, especially your diabetes and cancer and other diseases, is there any cure in homeopathy, especially for cancer? Because every second person is going for operations and chemotherapies, and they're suffering so badly. You just can't see them suffering. If there's any cure, definitely we can divert them to you.
Yeah, it's a very good question, but often I can say there is no cure. Now, okay. The other thing is that if there is a cure, that patient is not suffering from cancer. I have treated some of the cases, and they have come up, cured everything, and then I say it was not, it was wrongly diagnosed. So like leukoplegia, it's a precancerous disease because of smoking and tobacco. And people go on and the tissue becomes very hard and strong. And there is no alternative but to check. Person who is suffering has no faith in homeopathy. I have treated pancreatitis cancer, and I requested the family not to go to homeopathy, and I still have. For 20 years, this man, I have not cured it, but he is symptom-free, and he comes maybe every 6 months or something, and he's well. But I've seen 45-year-old person, one after another. This is a targeted cancer, and the targeted things were done, and the patient died. So one has to have little faith, one has to have little patience, and be set to face the situation. It might get worse, it might get better. So people don't give care to the things. So it is what I can say. But yes, there is a treatment.
Thank you, Dr. Sir.
I would just like to add to this that recently we are seeing many young people and all age group people having heart attacks. There's a high rise in people with diabetes, hypertension, cancer. And the reason for that has been, it was a study done in Johns Hopkins University, and it said it's with our sleep pattern and the mobile. The sleep time and the cure time, healing time of your body is from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. When a hormone called melatonin is produced, it relaxes all your organs and it increases the growth hormone also. So if you sleep beyond 12 o'clock, your body doesn't get that hormone. Every religion says you have to get up at early to bed and early to rise. So one of the reasons if homeopathy can work on that, on the sleep pattern, educate people on the sleep pattern. If they have sleep issue, then homeopathy can come in there. And for sleep, what is very important is at least 30 minutes of darkness or dim light. We are seeing mobile and television and sleeping. So when the light goes in the brain says, abhi to din hai. And that harmony doesn't come. And that is one of the reasons why we are seeing so many cases.
This issue once again. Why does the word faith get used so frequently when we discuss homeopathy? I don't see that word being used. Do you have faith in All India Institute of Medical Sciences or in allopathy? No, we don't talk about faith there. But homeopathy demands faith. That means there is a problem here, an institutionalized problem. That if you are sick, the natural reflex will be to consult a hospital or a doctor. Homeopathy requires faith. That itself is the heart of the problem.
I have explained that. I don't believe in that faith. People come to me seeing that one person has got well, I have come to them. Today came, he's suffering from lumbar spondylosis and having a sciatica on the right side. And he has seen a person who had treated sciatica had come. So then he came. So faith is a wrong word and it's a diversion. It's a kind of pulling the leg. Faith hai to jao. What is this? This is not faith. The medicine is there. As I explained to you, if you hit the target, it is going to work in any way. So it is not the faith, but it is the medicine that cures. It's the medicine that helps. Like Anita said, we had patient retinal degeneration. There is nobody in this house can think that it can be cured. But we have been able to cure it completely without injection, without anything like that. So this is where we need to coordinate. We need to understand the limitation of each science. And this is what we have to see even in cancer, even in bronchial asthma, even in UTI, even in tuberculosis, that kind of thing. I've seen people suffering from 20 years. And one medicine changed the whole thing and he's an army man. And after that, he was skin and bone when he came, cannot talk. And one medicine changed the whole thing. He survived. So this is where we don't need faith. If it works, the faith will come.
Can I please ask?
Yes.
Dr. Qasim, do you think the fact that homeopathy reacts slowly, it takes time to react rather than treat, and the patients most of the time lose patience?
No.
And where the faith point comes in? No. Yeah.
Homeopathic medicine doesn't take time to work. It works and it works first. The diagnosis between the clinician and the patient, because patient don't come and tell you exactly this is what happened. This somebody has said this, somebody has said this. So you divert yourself. So sometimes I ask and I get little angry. I said, come to the point.
So can the fact that the patient knows his own self very well an asset in the treatment?
Yeah, but
Because sometimes patients they don't know what's happening to them.
Yeah, because
they cannot describe.
today
in homeopathy you have to go to the details.
No, there's nothing. There's no detail. There's no detail. Today I had a lady. She is 65-year-old. She's suffering from bronchial asthma and pain all over the body, spondylitis, everything. How it happened? She had a number of miscarriage. That's it. And she had divorce. She got divorced and then she got married. So that's enough. So the body immunity is low. She doesn't have a strength to control, but she's an artist. She with the busy, she can work. So So there is no, so I have given some medicine and there is a complete financial loss, there is complete disappointment in her. So that disappointment will lead, so the dynamic level, disappointment will create many problems. So there, if you focus that medicine and everybody gives Ignatia, okay, fine. But that doesn't mean anything.
Can I just wanted to make a point on what, just one second. What Professor Krishna Kumar said, आप माने ना माने, faith की बात है. अब यहाँ देखिए कितने लोग बैठे हैं, कितना faith बढ़ गया होम्योपैथी में. आप मानो या ना मानो, हाँ? You discount the word faith, but a lot of us believe in faith.
No, believing, you believe because it works and you believe. But faith comes when you don't have anything, but you say, I have a faith on that. But that faith,
faith comes with the experience. No, that's always there.
जाएंगे ही नहीं तो experience शुरू कैसे
होगा?
Can I comment?
Just one second. Anil, you had a point.
Can I comment, please?
There was a question from that side.
Yeah, 1 minute. You just forget it. Yeah, come along. I smile.
I just wanted to know whether, the fact that homeopathy relies on micro doses, small doses, whether that can in fact be used in contrast to allopathic medicine to inculcate a greater confidence in homeopathy, because it is not thrusting a large dose down a patient without monitoring the effects. So actually that is a scientific advantage of homeopathy over allopathic medicine, perhaps. So perhaps you might like to comment on that.
Hello. Can I comment, sir?
Just 1 second.
This is.
Yeah, micro doses or nanotechnology, whatever you call it, it is one thing. It does have, because it doesn't have effect, because as I said, you give, for example, I can tell you, every one of us suffering from gastritis, hyperacidity. And every day you take the tablets, it subsides, and then every day you continue. But those people, they are given homeopathic medicine just to recreate another kind of chemical changes in the mind, in the stomach, so that the adverse reaction is not known, as regulating the diet, regulating thing. And the microdose has its own way of acting on the dynamic plane, not on the surface, but on the dynamic plane, and from there everything alters and everything goes into the body. People say that after taking the medicine, I feel there is a sensation coming in our body, and I feel comfortable, I can sleep well, and when I wake up, I am much more better. And if I take the diet, control the diet, it becomes better. So this is microdose has their level to play, and it has been adapted. It has been very much documented by people in the before also.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I have a simple doubt. As I have heard multiple times before that there is no side effects of homeopathic medicine. Is it true or not?
No.
Just not true. Can you explain it?
As I explained to you, there was a lady who came 50-year-old, and I gave the medicine, and she started all kinds of sensation in the body and lasted for 12 hours.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Very small question. Sorry, small question. Yeah, okay.
My name is Surendra Lamba. Myself and my wife have been the patient of Dr. Sir for the last almost 40 years, I think. Congratulations, sir, for the launching of this book. I personally feel, this is my own opinion, you were mentioning about the faith, then only 10% participation is there for the homeopathy and all that. Is it the cause that the awareness or the dissemination of homeopathy concept is very weak in the ecosystem? Is this the cause, number one? Number two, I personally feel the manifestation of the treatment is more in allopathy. It is manifested. Maybe they can schedule some days. Whereas in homeopathy, this is not generally found. Please, I may be wrong, I just want to have a clarification.
No, manifestation means what? Homeopathy Can you repeat the question? I just missed it.
See, in allopathy, let's say I walk into a doctor, so I have a kind of confidence. I don't use the word faith and all that. Okay, I know this pain will be over in next 3-4 days. But in case of homeopathy, I'm not sure. I'm talking about myself. Yeah, because he's manifesting, the doctor is saying, okay, in 3 days' time, you'll be all right.
Then, see, in that, if you see, when the people walk in the homeopathy clinic, they don't have, they're not sure whether they will be able to get out. But at the same time, they have not gone well with the allopathic medicine. Every time she has to take the medicine. But once we treat it, realizing where is the cause, the pain goes away and doesn't recur. So after taking that, it becomes eminent to the person that yes, it can take care of it. And that's why people are getting more and more into homeopathy.
So this is the reason, sir, I said that homeopathy is not being,
aware. That is another
awareness is very weak in case of homeopathy. People are not aware of this thing.
That is the place that the institution has to go. I can't be promoting this, I can't displaying, or we are forbidden. The doctor cannot do it. It is an institution, the hospital, and the government has to make awareness among the people. Yes, it is a medicine. Allopathic, because the pharmaceutical company makes a lot of advertisement, and everybody follows that. As he said, our pharmaceutical company, they don't make advertisement, they don't do anything. So that is the awareness. This is one reason that I wrote this. And you find I'm not only prescribing the medicine, I'm making it. This is what it needs. You have to understand homeopathy, where it works and how it works. Medicine doesn't mean anything. You can take haldi and you can take lasun and you can get. But the lasun in a smaller quantity is much more better than the lasun as a java. So this is where it is. It is the awareness is not there.
Thanks a lot. First of all, let me also introduce myself. I am Dr. R.N. Wahi. Professionally, Dr. Qasim is 3 years senior to me. Age-wise, I have never bothered to ask because we are similar age and super senior category, I think, with both. Anyhow, and before I say anything, I must say my regards to Vyasuddin, your father, and he and along with Dr. K.G. Saxena, we should never forget, as well, Dr. K.G. Saxena, they were instrumental, and because of these two personalities, we are here. Coming to certain other things, I think you had referred to iatrogenesis. So iatrogenesis, it is all man-made, and other factor which was pointed out was regarding the pharma industry. Okay? Well, that is definitely very important. Why I can say that, when I had joined these studies, Dr. William Boyd's book on pathology, that was the most respected book. It was there he had mentioned iatrogenesis. Examples he gave. I think, we'll be wasting more time. But then what I had read at that preface, I had done, let me commit before all of you. I made an unethical part because that book, it was very costly. I took from the British Council Library at that time. It had arrived there a day before only, luckily for me. And when I studied that preface, I could not resist myself underlining certain. And I was lucky enough, because when I finally returned the book, nobody checked, and I got escaped. So that is one area. Then coming to certain other things, as has been mentioned, regarding cancer. One aspect, I can say, because luckily Dr. Anita, she's an ophthalmic surgeon, and Dr. Qasim is my old colleague. Once, it was as back as I think it was 2014 or 13, I think. I had some problem, some growth was here. I still have the mark here. I was with him. He said, Dr. Bhai, have you started getting cancer here? I said, don't you worry. I said, अरे होगा तो जब देखी जाएगी. Let us not get worried because of that thing. And I will tell you, just to link up, कि आपने कई बार कहा कि no, I said कि most of the disease conditions, including COVID, lots of deaths, they were because of fear, not because of the disease. Same thing is with cancer. And Dr. Qasim, just to tell you, 2014, I was at Goa at a conference. Another colleague of ours who is very good at observation, he said, Dr. Why don't you take Qasim Muslim? I said, yes, I will be taking. My friend, an ophthalmic surgeon, very senior person, when he had said, Dr. Bhai, it is hyperplasia, but don't get worried. I said, मैं वही करके करूँगा क्या भाई? That was my answer. It had to be operated because it was creating disturbance in my vision. And when I was on the operation table, he said, तुम किसी reliable histopathologist को जानते हो? I said, right now I'm not able to explore. But then I mentioned him, कि भी यार देखो नई अच्छी laboratories खुली हैं, एक दो का नाम लिया मैंने, and I'm using, please bear with me. He said, सब सारे outsource करते हैं. That was his word. खैर उन्होंने कहा कि बच्चे मैं इसका स्लाइड बनवा देता हूँ. You go to that hospital. एक हफ्ते के बाद रिपोर्ट मिलेगी. रिपोर्ट एक हफ्ते बाद मिल गई. It was diagnosed as molluscum contagiosa. Still he said, I don't believe, because he had operated. He said, I can't believe. तुम इसको संभाल कर रहे, maybe के we need a second opinion. Well, after I think another 2 or 3 years, it was taken initially because my son's co-brother, he is a pathologist, MD. He was in the army, and then he was going to send this slide. He said again, so it was molluscum contagiosa. So my point is, no, the person who had operated upon, he was still very sure that it was cancer. Hyperplasia, I said, okay. But now, I think in case, Dr. Qasim, you remember, only this thing is, the stitch mark is available, nothing beyond. It is as back as now more than 12 or 13 years. I'm very much here. So, and another aspect, which you asked me, कि 3 दिन में या 4 दिन का टाइम हम क्यों नहीं दे पाते, कितने दिन में क्या दिया पैसे. This is a very wide subject, sir. We have to understand our concept of health and disease. So that is the difference basically. And again, another word, which is said, of course, it has been repeated. My own teacher and my professor, during Viva, he said, look, I want answer only in one word. Where does homeopathy differ from other systems of medicine? Well, when all of us have been passing through Viva, etc., and we do feel nervous. I was able to come down to 2 words. Then after that, then he said, can't you remember the word individualization? That word is still with me. I've never forgotten that word. And regarding Dr. Dr. Manchanda, referred about the Defense Colony College. Of course, it was inspired by Dr. Motilal Nehru, but even Dr. Yudhvir Singh, who was the health minister earlier, even he was reluctant to take that land. He said, "Itni dur kaun aayega?" And the land was, I think, being given at throwaway price. Offered at, I think, 1 or 2 rupees per square yard at that time. And the rehabilitation minister at that time, I'm forgetting the name, he had also come from Pakistan, Merchant Khanna. He said, "Doctor साहब, इसको ले लो, इस लैंड को आप देखना इस लैंड की कीमत कहीं के कहीं जाएगी." That was how we got that. Anyhow, so these are so many things.
I think we'll just close.
Very small question. Do we have effective treatment of type 2 diabetes in homeopathy, sir? Pardon?
There is no cure, I can say, but we have been able to sustain it, keeping the patient free from anything and bringing the immunity to a very strong level. So, and the person is not prone to heart disease, joint problem, anything like that. So, That is what.
So type 2 diabetes is coming around 200 fasting.
Well, that means diet.
That means?
That means your diet.
Okay.
See, 200 comes means your diet is not good. Everybody says don't take sugar. I say don't take fat.
Okay.
Tail in any form.
What you said, the diet is not good.
Your diet is not good, that's why it is going up.
Diet. Okay.
And in diet.
No personal consultations here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine.
Sir, I have an academic question. Since childhood, like most Indians, we have been treated by allopathic doctors. So we are overpowered by the indoctrination done by them. And come what may, regardless of evidence, regardless of friends who believe in them, we continue to, some of us continue to nurse reservations. So my question is there some way of finding that institutions which consider themselves number one in the entire world in terms of being regulatory bodies like the FDA in USA or Western universities could somehow be persuaded or convinced through authentic evidence and proper approaches to give official recognition to this as a legitimate science and not like the British Medical Association which once dismissed it as a fraud. If some such response would come, I am sure millions of people would take up homeopathic treatment. I am not doubting my own, causing my own doubts. I am saying this is such an official recognition.
What needs to go further, it is nothing, the pharmaceutical company, the government, all has to make people aware that please go, there is a treatment. See, as Professor Krishna Kumar said, the doctor has written in their prescription on the pad, if you're taking homeopathy, don't take an appointment. So, if those mindsets are there, and even the people are like that, I don't believe in, I have people. So, those has to be wiped out. And that is what I have been trying in my clinic to tell people, yes, everything is treatable.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
There is one question which you can pick up with the question he is going to ask. The question is on, we have a tremendous, you have mentioned, this was when Professor Krishna Kumar commissioned you for that NCERT book. In that you have mentioned this. This is about Delhi's children, 24% are overweight. Because they're having junk food. So what is something which homeopathy is contributing to? I mean, you can answer. Let's break that question together. Yeah.
Sir, everybody, we have talked about the present, the treatment of the homeopathy or the diseases. I would like to hear from Dr. Qasim the futuristic approach of the homeopathy. With the, the advancement in the technology, now we have got a billion set of data, we have got a AI, we have got a chat GPT, many more things are there. So if the experience are to be collated, first it is to be recorded, then all those recorded experiences are to be collated, and then based on that database, do we see something new in homeopathic will happen in another 5 to 10 years, where the entire data will get assimilated first and then analyzed, and accordingly with the help of the mathematical models, which is already available in the ample form, so that can be utilized, then you can say the confidence, I will not use the word faith, then the confidence of the people, that now how people have a confidence of chat GPT, because when you say that write an application, he writes the application 90% accurate, 10% you have to add, even that is not added if you give the proper input. So how we foresee this, the application of the mathematical model in the homeopathic in the time to come?
After what all we have heard from Dr. Qasim, where will the body language go then?
Yeah.
That's the point.
So then the video we have to take and we have to
treatment with certain parameters and all those things. That is where even that parameter treatment, like there are treatment for cancer. Okay, this is what happens. They have parameters that cancer therapy is this. They have parameters that anti-allergic drug will take care of your allergic, but people do develop asthma. Then it again goes beyond and they develop ILD, interstitial disease, lungs disease. So these are, the disease is not curing that. So that will be very difficult. But as you say, we have been, as a physician, I have number of, as you know, thing, but I have not had the courage to compile them and make them, because I still feel Dr. Anita has been telling me that you compile it, whatever patient you have seen it, let me sit together and try to. Yes, this will help. This will help build up the confidence, build up the confidence of people. But the problem is, again, it needs a lot of effort. It needs a lot of effort. And AI will not help. AI will not help, because it is your mind that you conceive what you see, and that part is difficult. That is missing here. So
that overweight thing.
The overweight, I always, as you all know, I am known by people that you always restrict food. I say no fat in any form. Pizza, burger, cheese, ये सब बंद. No oil in any form. Ghee, tel, सब बंद. So, and that is the cause of many diseases. So, and people are not ready to do that. So the diet restriction is first of the thing. Every patient of mine who talk, even you, and I've always said to them. But still the cholesterol goes up. Well, no, it's not the question. नहीं, you take, नहीं, सुनो, मैं उसका ये कहता हूँ, you take ghee, you can tell everything, but that was, Ayurveda has provided that information when 2000 years ago, or even 100 years ago. Now you are living in a society where you have all the luxury that you have, and if you take that, of course you go to the hospital. You go to the hospital and you get diabetes and everything, because your circumstances change. You are living in AC, don't perspiring, all these things will contribute. Children are not without AC. They eat pizza and come back and sleep in AC. So where is the perspiration? The perspiration will go inside and it will develop everything. Asthma is one of the, I have been advocating no milk product for children having asthma, allergic rhinitis. This is my standard advocation. So you have to, diet is more important.
I think we want 2 hours up now. I think we'll have to close. What has happened to the light? Okay. Yeah.
He should give the address of his clinic.
No, let's not do. Anyway, now the thing which, the point, I just want to thank everybody, the panel and the patient audience. I think it's a homeopathic audience. They've been so patient. Now the other thing which I wanted to say is that we must have some, if we have to do justice to homeopathy, we must clean our house. And the house is IIC. So we must reinstate the consultant who was here, and he must be reinstated. Thank you, Professor Krishna Kumar, for raising this. This must be done immediately. I mean, this should be the immediate fallout of this meeting. Thank you very much. And now we'll just, we should have launched the book earlier. So we'll just launch it for the camera now. Yeah. You can just pick the book up and just display it. Please. Yeah. Yeah, let's close that. Get up. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We want to hand over to Doctor.
Yeah, do that.
My book. Oh, sorry. This one.